I just told the guys in the locker room, you keep fighting and keep playing with great effort, and we got obviously a lot of character in our locker room to continue to fight and press on even when it felt like it was hard, and lost the lead there late in the fourth quarter, and guys came back and made the plays that they needed to make to win. And and I mean, the ball is football. The ball bounces crazy ways. It's not a predictable game sometimes, and obviously the ending was probably the most insane ending I think I've ever been a part of. But we'll take it. We'll take it for sure.
Josh, you lost a lot of games like this earlier in the year, but you told your team to follow your leadership, and stay the process. And when it was down, they just was no quit in this team. How much pride do you have in them for following what you've taught?
A lot of pride, and they've been through a lot, and we've, it's been well documented. We've been in every game except for one, and all that, and we certainly haven't been perfect in any of them. And but you can't take away from their effort and their ability to handle adversity and the character that they have. They just continue to fight and continue to give great effort. And fortunately here the last month and a half, the ball's bounced our way a few times, and we've made the plays that we needed to make at the end to win. I mean, sometimes it's not pretty, you know what I mean? But you don't have to. It's not about style points. It's just about the result. And very proud of the effort and the result today.
You said it was insane, but when he catches it, what are you thinking?
Don't get tackled by the quarterback. I mean, literally, I just was thinking, it was obviously very, I don't know what the word would be, but I was, once Ramondre pitched the ball to Jacoby, I figured we'd probably just tackle whoever had it, and then that would be it, and we'd go to overtime. And then when he lateraled the ball, I had no idea. It didn't seem like a lateral play to me, you know what I mean, when they handed the ball off to the back. So when they handed it to the back, I thought, okay, tackle him, go to overtime. And then when I saw the ball up in the air, and then I saw Chandler underneath it, I'm thinking, oh my God, we might have a chance at this. And then when he caught it, I saw Mac was back there, and just hoping that he could avoid, whatever effort that Mac had to tackle him, and then hopefully had enough juice left in his body to get to the end zone. Go ahead.
Last drive, the touchdown, things aren't going well.
Yep.
But he's got to complete a fourth down pass. I mean, you've got to continue the drive.
Yep.
Can you just talk about that drive?
Yeah. Look, in that situation, everybody in the stadium knows it's, you're throwing it. And I really give credit to our offensive line at that point. Dylan went out, and then we had Hronis in there, and Jordan was playing, quite a bit of snaps today. He and Hronis, they hadn't played football. The two of them haven't played in a game since August, so I give them a lot of credit for fighting and battling and being able to hang in there in that drive. Gave Derek enough time to make some throws. I thought Matt Collins, really kind of got us going there on the fourth down play, and then had another one. Darren made a good catch down the middle, and then Keelan, and they were like most teams have done. They paid a lot of attention to Devontae, and so trying to really avoid him beating them, which they did a pretty good job of that. We had a couple opportunities, but I thought the other guys really had to come up and step up big, and they made the plays they needed to make.
Josh, obviously you got the win, and that's the most important thing, but I'd like you to talk about the penalties today.
Yep.
Clearly a lot of unforced ones there. Can you discuss those, please?
Yeah, seemed like we were, in between silent cadence, using the cadence. Obviously they had a little bit of a showing here from their side. They're unforced errors, you know what I mean? And so we like to pride ourselves on not beating ourselves, and we certainly put ourselves in a lot of holes today with, a handful of offensive penalties, and then we had some special teams penalties that really, we had a good return, but then the ball comes back to the 9-yard line. So we lost quite a bit of field position in some of those swings as well. So definitely, we have things to clean up for sure, and got to do a good job of trying to address those and fix them, and, no excuses.
Coach, great success against your old coach here in Denver and here with the Raiders. How does that make you feel knowing that you're 2-0 now against Coach?
Yeah, it's really not about me. It's really about our team, obviously, and that team over there and that organization. I mean, they've been the standard for a long time, and our team, our team knew the type of challenge this was going to be. We knew they would be disciplined. We knew they would be competitive, physical, tough, and play hard in all three phases on every down, and that's what we got from them. Clearly. I thought they really did a good job they had some adversity early in the game. We blocked the punt. We scored right before the half. And then they were able to sustain the momentum they created there at the beginning of the third quarter and eventually take the lead. So I obviously give Bill a ton of credit for some of the adjustments that he made in the game and got them back in it and ahead. And just grateful for the effort and performance of our team here down the stretch.
Josh, on the Keelan Cole catch, did you get a good look at the catch, either live or on the replay, or were you surprised it held up over review, or did you think it was in?
I obviously saw him catch the ball. I think the biggest thing they were trying to determine was there really a clear angle that you could say without a shadow of a doubt that has to be overturned. And, usually when the play, when they call it a touchdown and it takes that long, if you're the team that wants it to be a touchdown, that's usually a good sign. So I think they were struggling with trying to determine whether or not his toe was actually on the white, or did his foot hit and then eventually got to the white, or did it not hit the white. So they just said it was inconclusive, and so they left it up.
Josh, going back to your history, obviously with Bill, you've been in these wars with him, obviously on the opposite side, but understanding the adjustments that he likes to make at halftime and things of that nature, maybe even knowing a little bit about how he goes about making those decisions. From the opposite vantage point, is there ever really a way to expect something in terms of his adjustments?
I think the one thing you can expect is that if you're hurting them with something, that they're probably going to adjust and stop that from hurting them. It doesn't matter what phase of the game it would be in. So I thought we had some success running the ball early, and then that obviously tailored off a little bit. And we stopped them with some things early, and then they kind of made some adjustments and found some success, certainly with the running game there in the second half. So I just, he's the best ever, and to sit there and assume that you're just going to hurt them with the same thing over and over is silly. They're not going to let that happen. So I thought they did a really good job of preparing their team, and then they made some adjustments there in the second half that really hurt us.
Let's do two more. We'll go Ben and then Ed.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Ben.
Got a quick question and a quick follow-up for you. Just how important is it for your team to be on the other end of one of these today?
Yeah, we've had our fair share, of close losses and ones we let quote unquote get away, and so I love the fight of our team and the fact that they came back and tied it. You know what I mean? None of us would have expected the last play to happen the way that it did. So that was just good fortune. But I think our team continued to fight and play hard and never got down on themselves. And that's a good football team over there, clearly. And they made things hard on us, especially in the second half. And just proud of the effort and the fight and the finish of our team.
That's a pretty tough loss for those guys over there. They're still in the playoff mix, but that's going to be a tough one for them. Just with your relationships with them, what are you feeling right now doing that to them?
Yeah, look, it's football, so I obviously have a lot of people over there that I have great feeling for and admiration and respect. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the people there, so I'll never forget that. But I think I'm happiest for the group in our locker room, you know what I mean? And the ball's certainly bounced a couple funny ways for us this year, and I think our team was really thrilled to have it kind of bounce our way today in a crazy ending, obviously. But I spent some time on the field after the game because there's a lot of people out there that, have helped me to get to where I'm at, and hopefully, obviously, I did my part when I was there.
Have you seen in the past something like this that can propel teams, or is this over tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
Have you seen in the past where some crazy inning like this can propel? You've got 3 left, still in this thing. Or is this over tomorrow and you go on?
It's funny. Isn't Saturday the anniversary of the Immaculate?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know what they're going to call this one, but it'll probably have a nickname here shortly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, football's every week's hard in our league, as you guys know, and Pittsburgh's obviously, Mike does a tremendous job, and this is going to be a huge challenge for us on a shorter week to go there. So we will not count this towards any points on the scoreboard for next week. We've got to go back to work and get ourselves ready to go and try to win a tough football game on the road against a tough football team.